to change this mindset. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Marley Marv. Welcome to my channel, Growth is Infinite. I appreciate y'all tuning in today. I hope y'all had a great week. I had a great week. I focused on positive things, did my best to try and keep my mind clear and healthy. So we're going to get right into it, man. Stay tuned.
Christian with the vision on a mission, man. It's the scriptures that I'm flipping and I'm living, man. I'm a different man on a mission, man. Here to bring hope to the vicious and the prisons, man.
Did you know I had a prisoner mindset? Like, take a minute for a minute. Like, I just want you to think about this for a minute. Imagine you being in a cell, right? It's dark, gloomy, no visitors. There's this guard that's coming in and out, but you never really see his face because, I don't know, you're ashamed. You don't really look up. You've been sitting in there for days now. And he always locks the door behind you. But this one day, for some reason, you happen to look up. And when this guard turns around and you look into his face, imagine seeing you. Like, imagine you being the one who's locking you up. Imagine you being the one who's holding you back. Imagine you being the one who's beating yourself down. See, a lot of the times it wasn't even other people that was really beating me down. I mean, I would hear their things. I would get upset, but a lot of the times I was my worst enemy. My thoughts was beating me down. It was like I was in a boxing ring and I would just beat me down to no pulse. I put myself behind bars when it came to me thinking that I could ever be successful. I put myself behind bars when it came to me ever thinking that I could be in a good relationship. I put myself behind bars when it came to me thinking that I can experience financial freedom. As you can see, I was my own prisoner. I was the CO of my life, locking myself up every day, locking myself up at night, beating myself down, telling myself I'm not worth it, telling myself no one really loves me, just feeding myself all this toxic that's keeping me stuck. Well, guess what, y'all? I looked that prison guard in the face and we looked at each other and I snatched the keys out his hand and I let myself go. Like, I'm like, nah, no more will I be a prisoner to my own thoughts. No more will I be the one to abuse me. Because can't no one abuse me like how I abuse me. You know, on the outside, I make it look good. Doesn't no one know there's a war going on within my mind at times? Doesn't no one know that because this person didn't say good morning at work, here it is 5 hours later, I'm still up in my mind thinking like, why didn't they say good morning? What happened? And going through all these mental strongholds because of me. But that stops. I got a couple pointers I'm going to share with you today on how to change your mindset. Do things differently. There's one right there. Do things differently. Like, I was so used to doing the same things that's why I was and expecting different results. It didn't add up. Like, you got to change the way you think to change the way you live. If you want to experience a new life, you may have to experience new thoughts. Like, I asked to go to court with my job. They didn't just give it to me. I said, hey, can I go to, like, I challenged myself to go to court. Like, I told myself, like, yo, you need to go to court. And I'm like, wait, why? For what? Like, you need to go to court because this is about to stretch your way of thinking. Because my old thought patterns got me to where I got at in life anyway, really with nothing. Sometimes you got to change even little small routines that we get in the habit of doing. Like, if you used to just waking up and going right to social media, well, look what you're feeding yourself. Like, look, it's already, ain't nothing on social media good. You already feeding your mind with either lust or some type of negativity. But why don't you get up and go for a walk? Of course, your body's going to be like, man, it's cold or we tired. But when you start doing different things, you're actually expanding your brain to a different outlook on something. Like, I try to work out more. I always working out was a part of me, but now I try to, like, I ride my bike. Like, I never really rode bikes like that. I did ride bikes when I was a kid, but meaning now on an exercise tip, I ride the bike. That's different for me. You know what I mean? I walk around my neighborhood. That's different. Did you know when I walk that I actually get some really creative thoughts? Like, I actually get to spend time with myself. Do you know, like, before church the other week, I went on a date. I told my buddy too. I was like, yo, I went on a date. He's like, you went on a date, man? What are you talking about? Yeah, I went on a date with myself. Like, I took myself out to eat. I went and had breakfast with myself. I'm so used to doing things with other people and feeling like I had to get some. I said, no, Marv, you take yourself on a date. Man, so I went to a little diner, got myself some eggs, sausages, some wheat toast. I was like, wow, spent some time with me, laughed at me, talked a little bit with me, but that was different. I never did anything like that. Never even thought to do anything like that. Because I did that, now I'm actually looking forward to spending more time with myself. Spending more time with them toxic thoughts. Don't be afraid of them. They come, but challenge them when they come. Like when something comes like, yo, you're a failure. Well, what does that failure, what does that really mean? What did I really fail at? Because some of our thoughts that come aren't even true. They come, but that don't mean that they're true. You know, you can start feeling scared. Challenge that. Wait, scared of what? I'm in here with all family. What's going on? Like, don't just let your thoughts control you. Either you control your thoughts or your thoughts are going to control you. And challenge yourself. I read something the other day. It said, if it doesn't challenge you, it can't change you. And I thought about that because there's a lot of things that challenge me. And I'm like, man, I ain't got time for this and this, that. But you know, it's all part of a growing process. But the question you have to ask yourself, are you willing to grow? Like, are you willing to put in the work to change your mindset? Because it doesn't just change on its own. Do you even see yourself worth it to want to change your mindset? I do. But you need to see yourself. See, I would always hear people, hey, Marv, you got potential. Hey, Marv, man, you're going to do good in life. Yeah, I heard what they said, but I didn't believe that about me. Until I started seeing until I started believing what I said about me, that's when things actually started changing. Them people that did speak into my life, though, that was encouragement, and it did help me push me to a place where I did start to believe in me. But it all started once I started really believing in me. Once I started putting footwork in. You know how easy it is to lay around and just let yourself go with everything that's going on in life, with everything that could be happening in your past, all that, and just let your mind run crazy up there? You can't stop a bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from making a nest in your head. And if you think about that, sometimes we don't have control over every thought that comes up through our head, but we do have control whether we sit there and fester on that thought. Now, I may have a thought that I ain't about nothing, everything I'm doing is wrong, and I could sit there and keep feeding that, or I could be like, man, let me go work out quick. Because the way when I respond to let me go work out quick, my brain has to go to that thought now. Like, it can't stay there and me trying to go work out at the same time. Like, I'm gonna go, now that I'm shifting to go work out, my thought's gonna shift. So I just changed that thought by doing something. There was an action there. Here's another pointer. Self-awareness. We can't think differently if we don't pay attention to the way we currently think. See, a lot of the times I was afraid, honestly, to challenge my thoughts. I didn't really want to look at my thoughts. I didn't know how to deal with them. But today I have to challenge my thoughts. I have to deal with them, because if I don't deal with them, if I try to run from them or let them control me, the fruit's going to be bad. I need an updated version of what's really going on. I can't keep doing things the old way. I have to be more aware of myself. I have to be aware of the dangers that I could put myself in. Because that's like, if I keep going down this one road, and if I'm going down this road where I know there's the same dog there in the same spot, and it keeps biting me, like, where is the point where it's like, wait, no, you know what happens when you go down that road. So I have to ask myself, when I'm being aware of myself, like, yo, you know, when you get into this type of thinking, what happens? Why aren't you putting a defense up? Why aren't you going another way? Why aren't you challenging it? Why are you just letting this thought treat you like as if the thought is the power and you don't have the power? Honestly, I have the power over the thought. My third pointer would be meet new people. Meet new people. You know, I heard someone say, you'll see your future by looking at your friends today. Like, if you're doing the same things or with the same people, you're going to keep getting the same results. You know, I used to think certain people weren't my cup of tea. Like, I'd be like, man, I remember my first time this was a while back, I went to an NA meeting, and they talk about, you know, drugs, alcohol anonymous and all that. But I remember it's like, man, this ain't my cup of tea. I don't like these people here. But you know what? I met some great people in there. I met some people who had some thoughts and ideas that I never had before. I met some people that were just like me. I met some people that were thorough. I met some people that cared actually more than some of the people that I was hanging with. So I love to meet new people today. I love exploring different relationships, different friendships. I read in a book, it said, if you're the smartest man in the room, that's a problem. I need to be around people that are more smarter than me so that they could teach me, so that I could learn off them and that they're just not learning off me, but we could bounce ideas off each other. I need to be around people that are businessmen so I can learn how to conduct business. I need be around people that own homes or in the real estate so I can learn what it's like to own a home. If I'm hanging around everyone that just has an apartment, what can they really teach me about a house? Nothing. If I'm hanging around a bunch of people that ain't never been married, what advice really can they give me about someone that's about marriage? So I try to do my best to meet new people because that's where a lot of our blessings is sometimes is in other people. You never know who you're meeting. You never know who may have the answer to your prayer. And not that you need to meet new people for the answers, but just meeting new people will help you do new things. I met someone that was into kayaking. So I'm like, I never went kayaking, but now I'm kayaking. And believe it or not, it was all right. Man, I heard a guy say, he said, the problem ain't that most people aim too high and they miss. He said, the problem is most people aim too low and they hit. I was like, wow, that's deep. He said, the problem ain't that people aim too high and they miss. He said, they aim too low and they hit. And I thought about that. And I was like, man, I aimed low my whole life. That's why I developed half of the behaviors I had. This mindset of mine, like, is slowly being renewed. And I'm like, man, now, and it's funny because being that my mindset's being slowly renewed, my lifestyle's being slowly renewed. I'm walking in court settings now and learning how to communicate differently and experiencing new things and meeting new people, doing different things. Like, these are pointers that I pointed out in these videos that can really help you. Try it, because I feel like every person that may be on here, and especially to my peoples that may be struggling on the streets or maybe struggling with an addiction, there's a way out. There's a way out. I read this story, right? This was like addiction related. It was a addict stuck in a ditch. And he said he was stuck there for quite some time. He said a priest walked by and he screamed out. He's like, hey, I'm stuck in a ditch. And the priest was like, all right, threw him down the Bible. He read the Bible. He still was in a ditch. He said a cop walked by. He's like, hey, I'm stuck in a ditch. He asked him his date of birth, where he was from, took down all the legal work, but he was still stuck in the ditch. Then he said, finally, another addict was walking by. He said, hey, I'm stuck in the ditch. Immediately, the addict jumped in the ditch with him. He was like, yo, what are you doing? We both stuck in the ditch now. He's like, chill. I know the way out. So that's my life and everything that I've been through. I'm just sharing it to provide a light on a path that that may be similar to mine, that may be going down a dark road. I'm just trying to provide light for you to see that, wait, there is a way out. You don't have to go to destruction. You don't have to let your mindset destroy you. Because honestly, there's some days I'm like, man, I be wanting to give up. Believe it or not, I don't even be thinking nothing. But I'm like, nah, why would I do that? Why would I quit? Sometimes we're quitting and we're this close. This close. Nah. If it's easy, honestly, it ain't worth it. If it's hard, that's what I actually take the hard route today, because it's the hard route that's gonna stretch me, that's gonna help me grow. I took the easy way out my whole life. I don't want to take the easy way out no more. See, but I know when I take the hard way, I'm gonna have to confront some things. I'm gonna have to realize some things about myself that I really don't like. I might have to be around some people that ain't really my cup of tea. But if I really want the life that I say I want, and it's not just about being prosperous, but I'd rather be prosperous in my soul so I could be able to just be a better person, a better friend, a better cousin, a better husband, a better father. All these things. So if this video touched you in any way, please give it a like, share it with someone else. If you didn't check out part 1 on how to grow your mindset, Make sure you check that out. I honestly believe these videos will bless you. So as we close up this series on how to change your mindset, I challenge you to change the way you think. It's a guaranteed, if you change the way you think, you'll start seeing difference in your life. You'll start seeing behaviors changing. But if you don't, nothing changes if nothing changes. It's time to make hell pay for everything it's done. Like, I want to use my pain as a reward today. Everything that I've been through, everything that was taken from me, I want it back. And I'm not going to stop. And you shouldn't either. So I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. And always remember,
growth is infinite.